Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, Dayan ha'emet. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, who is a righteous judge. These are the words that we say when we hear the news that a person has died. It acknowledges our trust and our faith, even in grief and in despair. It is our way of expressing our sadness while simultaneously acknowledging that there are things beyond our comprehension. We gather today to remember Lesli and to be with her family.
So I love all of you, and I thank you for your support.
We are together today to comfort Lesli's family, Brian, and Abigail and Adam, Alan and Derek and your family. Truth is that none of us should be here today. We should be at work or at school or enjoying spring break. But we are here to pay tribute to a daughter, to a sister, to a mother, and to a wife, to an aunt, to a dear friend. We gather with you, Lesli's family, to reach out to you and to embrace you and to comfort you. We know that you live in a darkened world today. And we understand your silence and your sadness and your tears. These are days of grief. We gather to comfort you, to be with you. And on your behalf, we call upon God. And we hope that even in this dark time, you will feel God's loving embrace and that God's presence will comfort you. You all know how much Lesli loved you. And the intensity and depth of her love, that's a love which death does not and cannot bring to an end. Her love continues in your hearts and in your memories. When we confront death, we ask the eternal questions that people have been asking since the beginning of time. The author of the book of Psalms put it this way: Adonai, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? For it seems that we are little more than a breath. Our days are like a passing shadow. We come and go like grass. In the morning it shoots up renewed, and yet in the evening it fades and withers. O God, you cause us to return to dust, saying, return, O you mortal creatures. If only we were wise and understood where we are going. But this we do know. Behold the upright. Mark the wholehearted, for they shall know true peace. To share words of tribute and memories, I'd like to call upon Brian and Abigail.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. A cheesy quote used at every graduation, party, or really any other occasion. But I really do feel like this fits the occasion. I know my mom, being the happy, strong, generous, and dedicated person we remember her as, would want this to be a celebration of her life instead of a sad occasion. My mom was my best friend. She was the first person I would go to when something happened and I needed advice. She was the person who knew every single little bit of drama in my high school and who I could sit and laugh with about the pettiness of it all. She was the person who I could ask any question about anything to. She was a best friend when I needed to deal with something at school. She was a parent when I needed advice, and she was a role model when I needed somebody to look up to. Her job was to teach people, not only as a job at work, but also as a mother, and she took both of these positions very seriously. At work, ever since I can remember, I've heard stories about how she was the students' favorite clinical instructor, because she actually taught them things and took them out to see the helipad, and maybe sometimes went around the rules to make sure they got a better education. Even when she became sick, she told me she would tell her students her vitals from her last appointment and ask them if those were healthy or not and recommend treatment plans. When she was in the hospital just a few weeks ago, I heard stories of her quizzing the nursing students there. And of course, she taught my brother and I many things. Not only just academic things, but she taught me how to play piano. Before I even started lessons, she taught me the entire first book, just on her own, taking after her own mother, who was a piano teacher. And she taught me how to be myself. When I was in middle school and wanted all the trendiest clothes, she instilled in me the fact that it's not clothes that define you, it's how you act and treat others. This became a main lesson of hers. And she taught me how to treat others. No matter if it was the guy I didn't like in math class, the girl who talked mean behind my back, or my best friends, she always said that we needed to be nice to everyone. A common phrase from her when I was complaining about someone was that you need to be nice to everyone because you never know when you're going to need their help. One thing that my mom really believed in was helping others. Every single thing in her life was about helping others, whether that be at home, helping my brother and I with homework, or telling us to suck up whatever illness we thought we had and that we'd be fine. Or at her job, where she helped patients recover, or she helped her students learn how to help others. Or when we would all go volunteer somewhere, at the school supplies distribution, or through our temple, or really anywhere else there was an opportunity. My mom's life was dedicated to others. I have never met a more selfless person. She never took a second to herself. It was always her kids, her job, or the animal first. She would go to work on Christmas so her coworkers could go home. And she taught me how to be strong. I'm sure every single one of you here knows exactly how she did that. Every single comment on every single social media and text has said something about how my mom was strong and how I need to stay strong. So I've been channeling my mom. She is the definition of strong. She has been through so much with 2 bouts of cancer and rough chemo and radiation to go with it. But I never heard her complain. She always acted like nothing bothered her and continued to go to work and be the mother and wife and friend we all know and love. When she chaperoned my friends and I on our 7th grade school trip to Cedar Point, she was the one in my group that wanted to go on all the big rides. She finally convinced my friends and I to go on the Millennium, and while most of us were sitting on the ride terrified, she had her hands up screaming, probably having more fun than the rest of us. This was right after she went into remission after her first round of cancer. I'm sure that she was probably extremely tired and in pain, but she went around the park with us all day, and it's still a favorite memory I have of her and I. Lesli Berk has taught me practically everything I know. She has set my morals and values. She has shaped my personality. Without her, I have no idea who I would be. So, Mom, I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you for being you, and I promise to remember you and remember the good memories, and I wouldn't change a single thing about the relationship that we had. I love you forever.
Thank you all for coming. It means a lot to us. I started making notes months ago as we knew this day would come. So I have no excuses if I don't have everything in here I wanted to say. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere as disciplined as Lesli ever was. As some of you know, Lesli was an extreme type A personality. She was a list maker, superbly disciplined. Everything would go on her list, from little stuff like making sure the kids would cut their nails once a week, to bigger stuff like packing for vacations. For those that believe they can talk to people that no longer are with us, we are all bombarding Lesli with questions. I say to you, be patient. I'm sure she's up there making a list with everyone's names and that she needs to get thank yous back to. I told her the other day I would not bug her too much right now, as I'm sure many others are chatting with her as well. I'm not worried about that. She can handle that much attention. That's because Lesli was a strong person. She never complained. Whenever there was much work to do, whenever that was how much work she had to do, or physical pain, throughout all this bout with cancer, I could tell she had severe pain, but she wouldn't sit there moaning about it. Lesli had a hip fracture and just thought it was a little bruise. She was like this till the end, never complaining about her pain or how tired she was. Again, she was such a strong person. Lesli was a nurse and a nursing instructor, and fantastic at both jobs. Even for those that have never met her, her influence in the nursing care in Northeast Ohio will be missed. Her students loved her for teaching them the right way to be a nurse. You should see the notes they left her after each semester. She might have done some things that management wouldn't have agreed with, as she sometimes didn't always obey the rules. But truly, she knows she was doing this to make her students a better nurse. And the teaching didn't stop there. Lesli taught me many lessons in life. She was a simple person. Her mother, Jackie, had taught her lessons that she tried to get to the kids to do. For example, if the kids received a birthday gift, she was on them, like, you know what, to call the person, and call them right away, not put it off for weeks or text them. She also taught me to be nice to everyone, no matter who they are. We typically go to a store and think of the clerk behind the counter or a janitor cleaning the toilets as someone just works there and is just doing their job, and that's it. Lesli would look at them in a different way and reach out to them and talk to them, get to know them as a friend. I'd like to ask everyone in here this week, when they are out somewhere, to try to really talk to someone as a friend that they wouldn't normally talk to. Truly, if everyone acted like Lesli, the world would be a much friendlier place. And I know Lesli would love all of us to do this. Even if it's just a pay it forward thing, where you pick up some random stranger's tab, do this on a regular basis if you have the means. It'll make you feel better, a better person, and Lesli will smile upon you. She's probably the only Jewish wife that had to be forced to go buy new clothes or purses or anything. She did, however, like to buy scrub tops. For those who aren't nurses, a scrub top is a nurse's work uniform that comes in many colors and designs. My closet is full of these bright colored scrub tops, and she bought knowing the kids she worked with would like them. She would tell us stories of the young girls that would come in on the floor on a regular basis, unless we would find out if that girl was there because she liked Dora the Explorer scrub top to wear, because she knew this little girl would smile when she saw Lesli in it. That love and consideration was also shared in her home. Lesli brought into this world two great kids, and she has passed on so many great traits to our children. They are both so smart, worldly, and mostly well-behaved. The mostly, of course, is my influence. But I told her I will try to change and keep them on the path she carved out. I know they have learned so much from Lesli and have characteristics ingrained in them now. They are both the light of my life, and I see Lesli in them more than ever. Almost done, I swear. For example, there's Abigail with her knowledge and quizzical mind. She's always looking to get answers on how or why something works. And there's Adam and his kind heart and smarts. He amazes me every day, and I hope you both think before acting and say, what would Mom do? She will help guide you on the right path. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of things to say about her in her way too short life. But I promise you, Leslie, I will do my best to keep up what you started. I love you and will never let your memory fade. Thank you again for being here for our family and everyone else whose life Leslie touched. Although I've made many new friends throughout the last couple of months, I would trade it all to have her back.
Tradition teaches that words that come from the heart enter directly into the heart, and there can be no more fitting tribute than the loving memories of a daughter and a husband. Leslie took part in the creation of a videotape that she asked be shown on this occasion.
So I love all of you, and I thank you for your support. And starting with the kids' births. Those are my proudest accomplishments and the best project I've ever worked on. I remember every detail of your births. And I have pictures, none of your births here, but I have all those pictures and I remember everything. And I remember our vacations together to Mexico and Spain. And Hanukkah is my favorite holiday when we do Hanukkah together and we all light the candles and open presents. It's very special. We have several menorahs. One of them I bought when I went to Israel. That's the most special. And then we have like little ones that the kids light so that all of us can light one for fun. And when we had the exchange student, like I gave it to her so she could light it. So they all three had one. One of them was Brian's grandma's. So they're, yeah. I want them to still do that. I want them to still do Hanukkah, and, you know, all those things are important to me. And it's going to be hard for Brian because it's a lot to do. But he has a lot of support and a lot of help. My mom's from Liverpool, my dad's from London. And they met here, actually, and got hooked up here. And then he went to Vietnam, and when he came back, they got married. Introduced by family who were British and Jewish, and they asked my mom to be his pen pal while he was in Vietnam. So then he came to her door with flowers when he got home. Actually they met in St. Louis once too, when he was on leave. So this is kind of romantic. My mother died when they were 1 and 4, and she was their primary caregiver when I would work and stuff. So we would bring the kids over there every day, or whatever, every day that I worked, and because I was part-time. and she had everything for them. She had, in my old bedroom, she had a crib, you know, she had a bassinet, she had a high chair, a plug and play, everything. Like, she would go to garage sales and get everything for them, books, toys, and she loved them so much. And I don't know that they remember her. You know, Abigail said she remembers going when my mother would pick her up from daycare, preschool, and she would like make grandpa's pudding and grandpa's salad, and like she would help my mom cook. Adam was only 1, so yeah. She died right after his first birthday. Her egg salad is wonderful, which I just made the other day. Those hot dog casserole, that's so stupid. It's just hot dog and beans and some other stuff, and it's really good. There's a plate on the desk in the kitchen that was my mother's. I bought it for her, and then I took it back, and it says something like, "A mother's love is the first thing you know and something you never forget." So I'd like them to have that. A very expensive necklace that I have. That's a diamond necklace. That's hers. I'd like Abigail to have that. And of course, my own jewelry. I would like them to. I don't know that Adam would want it, but he's welcome to look through it too. You know, the two of them. Maybe he'd want to give it to his wife or girlfriend one day. I don't know. I don't have like fancy stuff. Oh, probably my wedding ring. Yeah, I don't know if they would want to use that. My wedding dress is in the attic. I don't know if it would be any good, but they should take a look at it. I was in college and I was a waitress, and he was already out of college and at work and out with a group of 12 guys. Yeah, and it was an interesting story actually. At the bottom of the menu it said like parties of 10 or more have to be on one check, and the group was arguing with me that they wanted separate checks. And I said no. I said I'll go back and ask my manager, and of course they said no. And then this guy, who's like a idiot, said, "Okay, we'll just give it to the Jew to figure out." Talking about Brian, because he's an idiot. That Brian would figure the check out. And I got all mad because I thought he was talking about me, because I had a Jewish star on. And I was like, why are you, you know? And then he's like, no, I'm just kidding, my friend, right there. And I looked at him, and my husband looks very Jewish, so you could see, obviously, that he was. And then I said, oh, okay, whatever. So then, after they all got up to leave, he started talking to me, and then he came back the next day, or a couple days later, maybe a couple days later, and asked for my section. And that's how we met. 18 hours labor with Abigail. But good memories. Good memories. I still remember every single thing. And Adam's was much shorter, only like 8 hours. And also good, very good births. They were both born on their due dates, which is unusual. Abigail was 7'12", Adam was 10 pounds 2 ounces. Oh, she was happy. She gave him a present. My mom and dad helped her buy him a present. I don't remember what it was at the time. I know they bought her jewelry. She bought him something. But I remember in the other album it would have been that you could see it. She was wearing this blue jewelry. Yeah. She fed him. I remember she would sit him in the high chair and feed him. And that was fun. Cute pictures. I always like to have a family dinner where we all sit down together. Sometimes Brian cooks and sometimes I cook. Favorite dishes? I don't know. We try to alternate. I mean, we try to have like variety. I don't think we have any favorites. He likes to make fried potatoes. The kids like it. And he'll make like he made granola bars, which they can eat for breakfast. Homemade granola bars. I'm more the meal cooker, usually. He'll make stir fry sometimes. They say he only makes like the same couple things, you know. I don't really like much of anything right now. But before that, I don't know. Burgers. I like everything. Chicken piccata. Different things. Pets are very important to me. You know, right now we have 2 cats and a dog, but we've always had pets, and they're very important. This is our 3rd dog as a family. And, you know, I want them to take care of the pets and walk them every day. The dog, not the cats. Walk the dog every day. Being Jewish, they know that I want them to not forget where they came from. And I want them to keep in touch with the relatives that live far away. It's important to me. Well, there's my dad and my aunt live in Florida, and then my brother who lives in Atlanta. That's all I have left on my side. And I don't want them to forget them. And I know that Brian's side, though, you know, that's going to be automatically they're going to still keep in touch with them, but I want to make sure that they keep in touch with my side too. Our synagogue we were with for years closed June 15th, unfortunately, which was really sad. And we checked out a couple other ones, but then when I got sick, we just decided it wasn't our highest priority right now. But we're going to have to at some point because Adam's going to have to get bar mitzvahed. He's 11, so he's like 11 and a half, so sometime in 2016 we'll have to join or do something. Yeah. Do something. There's other things you can do too. You can rent a rabbi and go to a hotel or something. So we'll do something because his sister had a big party and it wouldn't be fair for him not to have one. So that's another thing I want. Of course, if I'm not around at that time, I want to make sure that he does get a bar mitzvah. So that's important. So they were 4 and 7 when we went to Disney World. And then after that, we went to Mexico twice. And we went to Spain last summer, which was cool. And we're going on we just booked another vacation. So all of us can go to the Dominican Republic in October, which is going to be fun. We had all those character dinners on the dining plan and getting them, like organizing that, because I worked really hard on it, to book all those dinners so that they could see all the people, dance with the, you know, Cinderella and the prince. They do that stuff there. It's pretty cool. They come get you like at the dinner table and they dance with you. So it's really neat. They would get autographs of the people. That was a big thing. South of Cancun, 2 resorts that were Dreams Resorts, they're called. That's the same place we're going in Dominican Republic. It's a chain. Swam with dolphins, one place, and I don't remember what we did at the first one. That was the second time. Oh, I think we went to see ruins. We went to see like Incan ruins or whatever. All inclusive, because we're cheap. That's terrible to say, but we know that if we go somewhere and we have to pay for all the meals, we're not going to go to the expensive places. We're going to go cheaper. So we decide that we're going to pay the all-inclusive so we don't have to worry about it. It's paid for. Like they already charged us for this October trip. It's done. So now we can just go and eat and drink whatever we want. And we don't have to worry about it.
I remember my husband drank too much. They'll remember this. Because it's free alcohol. And he ended up by the toilet. And we had to just keep going back and checking on him. He spent the evening on the floor by the toilet. And we just kept going back, making sure he was still alive. So that's what happens when you have free alcohol and you drink too much. Because we always talk about, I don't drink very much, and we talk about what happens when you do, and that's what happens. So don't drink too much. They meet other kids there, and they play with other kids, and it's very heartwarming. We're sitting there like reading a book or whatever, and they're playing, so it's good. We had an exchange student the year before who lived with us for 10 months, so we went to visit her, but we went all around, and then we visited her for 3 days, but we also took a trip around. It was nice. Aunt Susan, she's the benefactor. She retired from the airlines, so she gives us a good deal. That's why she took me. She took me when I was 18 and 21 and 18, 21, and 24. Brian went with me on the last time. And then she took Abigail when she was 12. She's supposed to take Adam, but he doesn't behave. So he doesn't eat well, and that's the problem. In Spain, he didn't eat well, and she was with us. So if he eats better, he gets to go to England. I'm very proud of both of them. They work really hard. They're both gifted. They're both in the gifted and advanced placement classes. And they're amazing. Yeah, he's in the band. She plays piano, but she's on a break right now. Oh, and she's in show choir. So yeah. She's just too busy right now to do her piano and voice. She does theater sometimes, but she's on a break right now. Because of cross country is every day. I liked Annie a lot. She was an orphan. It was cute. With the little mop. Yeah. He's really good at math. So he's talking about being IT like his dad, or accounting, or something like that. And Abigail likes more biology, like me. I'm a nurse. So I think sometimes she talks about being a lawyer or a doctor, but she could be a very good nurse or a biologist or forensics or something like that. I like Twinsburg so much. I think we've given them the best choices, the best education. It's good. Oh, a colonial, nice, beautiful house. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, big yard, fire pit, jacuzzi. It's nice. Well, after wanting to work at Dairy Queen, that was my first career goal. No, I wanted to do forensics, like CSI and that kind of stuff. And it was kind of and I kind of wanted to do the social work too. And my parents sort of talked me into nursing because they said I would make more money and have more job stability and that kind of stuff. And forensics, you had to go to medical school, which was a long period of time. So nursing I could have done forensic nursing, like they do that stuff, but nursing worked out, and then I realized I liked kids while I was in nursing school. I worked in a nursing home and I hated it, and then I decided I wanted to work with kids, so I worked at Sears Portrait Studio to practice being around children. We do the traumas, we have the helicopters. So I love the traumas, they're fun. So, good accidents and stuff. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. We used to work like crazy, like dogs, where you couldn't go to the bathroom, you couldn't eat. It's gotten better now, though. Staffing's gotten better. There was a point where they never had enough staff for us. And so people were always being asked to stay over and help and stuff like that. But is better now. Things have like turned the corner. So it's more fun. And we get to spend more time with the patients now. I work, like 12 hours a week, maybe. I work a 4 and an 8. They're really good to me at work. They give me easy, light assignments. So it's like more fun just to come see my friends than it is actual hard work. But they're very good to me there. Yeah, if any of them are watching this too, they've been a major support to me, and they saved my life probably when I was sick. They sent me to the emergency room because I was drooping and slurring my words. So they put me in a wheelchair and took me down, and that's when I got a CAT scan and found out it was in my brain, over 20 lesions. Surprise. And like it was weird. I was acting like I was on drugs or something. They actually, said, "Have you been drinking?" Like, no, of course I haven't been drinking. But I was acting funny. So so it was like, they did that, 20 lesions in my head, and then I got transferred over to UH, which is where my oncologist was from 2 years before when I had breast cancer. And then they did all the other tests and found out it's in everywhere. It was already in my hips, my femur, my adrenal glands, my lung, somewhere around here, in my armpit, everywhere. So it was too late. It was very aggressive. It had mutated to a triple negative. When they did the biopsy, they found out that's why it came back so aggressively. It had changed to triple negative breast cancer, which is very aggressive, and it had gone into my brain and bones. The knowledge, being able to understand what they're saying, being able to understand labs and biopsies and tests and what the doctors are doing and saying. I don't know how other people, honestly, I don't know how they cope with it. There's so much stuff to know, and I have that knowledge base, and I understand the words that they're using, and then I'm what's the word, pragmatic? I don't know if that's the right word. Like, it is what it is, and I have to do this treatment, I have to do this test, and that's the way it is. I don't sit there and cry under the table and say, why me, why me? I just do what they tell me to. So I got on a trial. I go get my labs done, I go get my scans done, and it's helping. They say the stuff is shrinking right now, which is good. So I have to do what I have to do. I can't sit there and cry. So I think that's what helps me. I'm like a biology, even though, we talked about me being Jewish, I'm not like religious, God this, God that. I'm a biology person. I'm a factual, physical person. And the religion is more of a history and culture to me. The holidays, the food, the music, the dance, the culture. And that's why I say I don't want them to forget where they came from, because they've heard me say this before. Because all those people died so that we could walk around and say that we're Jewish. So it's not fair for us to forget. But my friends at work are the best. I've already asked them. I've asked one particular person when I get sick enough that I want her to organize help for me, so I don't have to have strangers helping me, like from insurance or whatever. I want my friends to help me, and I know they will. There was another lady who died of cancer, a secretary, and they made arrangements for people to sit with her, and I know that they will do it, and it'll be more
comforting to me to have my friends, helping me.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, 17 years I've been there. They're good people. All right, so I only have one more thing. And remember, you two, Abigail and Adam, I will always be with you. Don't forget. Dad will raise you how I would want you to be raised, mostly. He knows how I would want you to be raised. And I have prepared you for life. A parent's job is to give their kid wings so that they can fly. And I have given you wings so you can fly on your own. And I love you very, very much.
Adam and Abigail, your mother concludes by talking about the job of a parent. And giving you wings and teaching you. In our tradition, the most sacred text is the Torah, and it means teaching or instruction, and it's from that word that the word for teacher comes, but it's also from that word that the word for parent comes. And that's what parents do. We teach. Your mother was a natural teacher to you, to her colleagues, to everyone who knew her. And in her ability to find the strength to have made this video, to be shared with all of us here today, and this video for you to go back and watch anytime you want. She did what she knew best and did best, and that was to teach and to instruct. This was her Torah that she taught you. There can be no question about what she values most, what she hopes for the two of you. You know how much your mom loved you, how much she adored you. You knew that before you saw the video, but who can imagine saying that 18 hours of labor is good memories? It's just one more way in which Lesli was a remarkable woman. To all of us here, I want to say that we have a responsibility. To Lesli, to Brian, and to Abigail, and to Adam, to be there and available to help and to do, and to step in and do some of the things that Lesli might have done, and to do those things without waiting to be asked, but to make ourselves available. And not to ask what can we do, but to suggest what we can do and then go about and do it. And that help is needed now, certainly in these next few days and weeks, but that obligation of friendship continues and goes on into the future. Adam and Abigail, your mother was honest. She talked about being a pragmatist. She was honest with you about what she was facing and what you would face, that this day would come. She knew it, and she didn't shield you from it. That's a gift that she was able to give you, that gift of honesty. Because that's what's most real, and that's what's left with you. Those are difficult conversations to have, to talk about your own death, particularly at such a young age. But she knew how important it was for the two of you to be able to have those conversations with her and to confront the reality of this moment. Leslie's steadiness, her constancy, was part of who she was, and it was a particular kind of gift that she brought to her relationships, especially those with the people that she loved the most. She was, it should also be said, a good example of that adage that if you want something done, call the busiest person you know, because she was always volunteering with the school and the PTA and fundraisers and show choir and you name it. Leslie was there, kind of a super volunteer, a professional volunteer almost. When we die and leave this world, we take nothing with us, no material goods, nothing accompanies us. The rabbis teach that in the way some people live, they earn for themselves a keter shem tov, a crown of a good name. Leslie earned her crown of a good name 1,000 times over. And her crown of a good name, it survives her and it lives on. And every time we help someone in need, and every time we are compassionate with a person, we wear her crown and we honor her memory. With every gracious act of volunteering, with every reaching out to another person, with every gentle or kind word that we say, we carry Leslie's crown into the future. We pay tribute to her life. Zichrona livracha. The memory of a good and a righteous woman is forever a blessing to all who knew her. And so it is with Leslie's blessing. She will always be a blessing in your lives. You will remember her always. You will carry her with you in your heart and in your soul. You will think of her when you confront life's challenges and when you celebrate life's greatest joys. Zecher tzadeket livracha. She was a good and a righteous woman. Her memory will forever be a blessing. Adonai ro'i lo echsar binot deshe yarbitzeni al mei menuchot yenahaleni nafshi yeshovev. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside still waters, and restores my soul. O God, you lead me in the right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In this hour of parting, we cherish the years, though too few, that were allotted to Lesli. Those years were a source of blessing to her and to her family, most especially to her children, to Abigail and Adam. And we thank you, God, for the gift of her life and for the life that has issued forth from her. O God, grant courage and wisdom to Brian, that he might be a source of strength and comfort to their children. We pray that Lesli's spirit will live on as a precious memory and an influence in the hearts of all that she held dear. May all who are bowed in grief today find comfort in you, O God. You who are near your children, in sorrow as in joy, in death as in life. Please rise. El malei rachamim, shochein bamromim, hamtzei menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashchina, im kedoshim utehorim, kizohar harakia mazhirim, et nishmata gana shehalach leolama, Began Eden tehe menuchata, ana bal harachamim, hasdireha beseter kanafecha leolamim, vayitzror bitzror hachayim et nishmata, Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom, al mishkava v'nomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Ghana, to Lesli Berk, for she has now entered eternity. O God of mercy, we pray, may she find refuge in your eternal presence, and may her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance, and let us all say, Amen. Al mikoma tavo b'shalom. May Lesli come to her eternal home in peace. We recite the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn. May God send comfort to all those who are bereaved among us. Amen. Please be seated. Following the conclusion of our service in just a moment, the family will observe Shiva at their home, 2339 Sandalwood Court in Twinsburg. Shiva will be observed today through this evening, and then again tomorrow and Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. For those who might wish to honor Leslie's memory with a charitable contribution, Brian and family suggest that you might direct your generosity to the Metro Health Foundation. Brian and Abigail and Adam, Alan and Derek, and to all the family, we conclude with these traditional words of consolation. Hamakom yinachem etchem, betoch shar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God grant you comfort, and may you be comforted along with all those who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem and in our community. Amen.